Bitcoin halving alert. It has happened. Block rewards have halved. It's a new season. With it comes I have a new little studio, little new office here. I'm really excited because the winds of change, I really think when it comes to crypto, they are here. Block rewards have halved, but we all know price will probably continue doubling. We don't know. We don't know for sure, but I'm going to actually talk about that in this video. I want to look at charts. I want to talk about what this means for Bitcoin, and I really just want to get some historical context as we go into this new season, this new era. The 2024 halving has happened. It's crazy how fast time has gone by since the 2020 halving, but we're going to break it all down. I want to talk about a couple of narratives as it relates to Bitcoin that I think we're going to see a lot of in this new season. And I also want to talk about altcoin season as well. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. So this is Bitcoin zoomed out on the monthly. And before we talk about different narratives when it comes to Bitcoin this season, this next 4 years, I just want to provide some very simple data. This is how things have transpired through the cycles. If we look back, 2012 halving, 2 all-time high, 10,000%. We go to the next halving in 2016, 2 all-time high, 3,000%. We go to 2020 halving. In 2020, May of 2020, 2 all-time high, around 600%. You see the diminishing gains throughout the cycles, and that's normal. Now, here we are, and we're in 2024 halving. It just happened. We're going to have a lot of time to speculate. We're going to be speculating about where Bitcoin and crypto can go this cycle. But if we just say, and this is just very simple data, 100% gains, diminishing returns, we all know that. This cycle, $125,000 Bitcoin. A lot of people could be happy with that. That would be pretty good gains. What would 200% look like, right? 190 to $200,000 Bitcoin. There are price speculations all over the place, from like $100,000 up to like $1 million. And so that's why I'm saying we have time for that, but you get the sense of the trajectory that Bitcoin has been on. Now, Bitcoin halving has happened. Check out the search trend on Google search. Just look at it. Here's last cycle, 2020, May 2020. Here's the 2016 halving. Just look at this. There's more and more eyes on Bitcoin, on crypto every cycle, and we can let these crazy clickbait headlines just take over now. Bitcoin suddenly braced for a $35 trillion halving price earthquake. I'm not going to read the article because it's pretty ridiculous, but this is what we're going to start seeing a lot of. Now, in terms of the narratives that I want to talk about, and then I do want to go and I want to actually zoom in on the daily chart every halving to get a sense of what might be next for Bitcoin price in the short term. But before we do, 2 things I want to discuss. Number one is this, the Bitcoin ETFs. We've already had that narrative in play for months now, leading into the spot Bitcoin ETFs, right? Being approved. So much hype, so much speculation surrounding that. And then it happened. And this is truly going to this is really going to play into that supply shock that we talk about surrounding the Bitcoin halving, right? Now we have Hong Kong in play. Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs to start trading by 30th of April and could bring in $25 billion. And I just saw this post. Bitcoin is going to $150,000. ETH is going to $10,000. Altcoins will pump 10x to 100x. This person over here on X, I think this thought, these 3 simple lines, a lot of people in crypto really just think that. And I would say I fall in that camp. I really do. ETFs are buying billions every week, and now more and more countries are approving ETFs. In next 12 to 16 months, you will make life-changing money. That depends how it's played, right? That depends how the game is played. This is an incredibly risky game, right? And this YouTube channel is just me tracking my crypto journey. You are seriously not bullish enough, they said. So Bitcoin ETFs. This is a narrative that this is not over. I really think this is just beginning, and it truly plays into the demand that is pouring into Bitcoin from a global perspective. This is just starting. And the other narrative, I really wanted to bring this up. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I wanted to throw it out there because I'm incredibly interested. I've been incredibly interested since Bitcoin ordinals were launched like last year. Bitcoin runes launch at the halving. Here's everything you need to know. I'll put a link in the description. You can read through if you want. But the creator of Bitcoin ordinals, basically NFTs on Bitcoin, is debuting a new fungible token standard to rival BRC20. Very simply, just picture just tokens, all the tokens mania that you see happening on Ethereum, on Cardano, on Solana. Picture that happening on Bitcoin. And Runes is here now, making it way easier than what they had with BRC20. And they're using UTXO for this protocol, the Runes protocol. And this is just going to be, not just with Bitcoin, this is going to be, I truly think, I could be wrong, will be one of the largest, most bullish, hyped up narratives this cycle, now that Bitcoin halving is here especially. So I'm going to put a link in the description. I wanted to throw it out there for you. I realize many of you may not be interested, and that's cool. I'm very interested in this. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So I'll put a link in the description if you just want to check it out, read about it. And now we can pivot to the charts. And then I want to talk about altcoin. I want to talk about altcoin season, because this new season, Bitcoin halving happening, it is so important to what happens with altcoins next. Finally, we are here. So here's 2012. This is just very short-term data pieces in each halving to give a sense of what can we anticipate. And unfortunately, there's not 100% consistency. Here's 2012 halving, and it's very simple. Bitcoin from the halving, this was, what was it, November 28th, I guess it was, never went lower. Just to give you a sense, Bitcoin never went lower from that halving to the next all-time high. And we're talking about it just was at $12, and it never saw $12 again. So that's 2012. If we go to the next one, this is the halving of 2016. Bitcoin, you can just see, was sideways right after the halving for looks like a couple weeks or so, and then just big fall off, 30% to the downside. That was 2016 halving, huge bounce, and then guess what? Bitcoin never saw that $500 range ever again. Now, if we go and we look at the last halving, 2020 halving, very sideways, right? Here's Bitcoin halving, May 11, 2020. It pretty much really never went lower. It looks like maybe a couple weeks later, it tested that area where it was at Bitcoin halving, but it was up. It was up from there, right? And that was around $8,000 or so, $8,000 to $9,000. And then, as you see, Bitcoin just never went to that price again. Now, here we are again. Bitcoin. The halving has happened. I need to move this over. The halving has happened, and we are here at $63,000. You can see how it wasn't every single halving in cycles past where Bitcoin just never went lower. 2016, it did go lower by like 30% or so. But other than that, it has been a really just starting line for Bitcoin to just continue higher, to continue to all-time highs. But I think one thing that we did see, whether it was just up only or not, that 30% downturn, there was kind of a consistency in the sideways nature of it, right? And I think maybe that's just markets being like waiting, on standby. What is Bitcoin going to do? So this is a whole new territory, right? Just because these things happen in cycles past doesn't mean it will happen again. But I think that gives helpful data in terms of the macro, in terms of why when we do go to a Bitcoin monthly chart like this one, it really does seem like after every halving, Bitcoin enters a bullish environment. And I think we're on pace again. There could be a lot of things in play from a macroeconomic perspective that might throw that entire consistency off the railroads, right? Something could happen in this world because the world, I think this cycle around, it's just the craziest it's ever been. It's a very scary place. It's a very sad place. So anything can happen, and I always want to be prepared for that. But the data on the charts, putting those things aside, Bitcoin is primed because of the supply shock, because of the inflows, because of the interest that is here. What this means for altcoin season, this I think will be massive. And I covered this post over here on X. Altcoins will pump 10x to 100x. I think a lot of people have been living in this environment in crypto, if you've been in crypto, because the Bitcoin spot ETF really did bring some hype and some anticipation. We saw Bitcoin just make some really solid technical analysis type of moves that it had never made before, right? We looked at the price charts, Bitcoin breaking the bull market door area right there before the halving. Every cycle before that was after the halving is when that happened. That has already happened. So I think because of that, a lot of people have been kind of living in this world where if you look at a Bitcoin dominance chart, they're thinking altcoins should be exploding. Altcoins should be at all-time highs. Altcoins should be just outpacing. And I just don't think, if we look at a Bitcoin dominance chart now, I don't think we're there yet. But this is what's great. Now that the Bitcoin halving has happened, here it is, the Bitcoin halving, we can really start analyzing Bitcoin dominance now. So a couple things. Last halving, you can see Bitcoin dominance at halving actually started to fall. It got one just swing high right there. And that was really just going right into, this is the bull market doors being broken at that time last cycle, Bitcoin making a move. But you can see there's altcoin season, right? And then you go to the cycle before that, here's altcoin season. Just notice, this is a weekly chart. So this is months after Bitcoin halving, months after Bitcoin halving, 2016, 2020. That's when altcoin season kind of has happened. Now we're at Bitcoin halving. Could it be months? If history repeats, yeah, it could be and it will be. Maybe it happens sooner. But on the Bitcoin dominance chart, now that halving has happened, this is getting very exciting to watch. And the reason why that is, and I'm just going to move this over. The reason why that is because I very much think Bitcoin is putting in its lower high. And I don't know if it's in yet or not. You can just see this kind of, it's been trying to break out of this range. And this has everything to do with altcoins, trying to break out of this range, which it did in like the last week or so. And we have this Fibonacci, this lower high Fibonacci. So it's a swing high to swing low. And it's just this green rectangle up here, that entire area that's been in play for Bitcoin dominance. And maybe it is the months ahead where Bitcoin dominance makes that run to that area. Maybe it's, like this, and then altcoin season. Maybe it doesn't happen. But one thing I do know is the dominance chart is going to be the roadmap for altcoin season for me, and just going to continue monitoring it. If I get rid of this Bitcoin halving line because it's making it hard to see, you can just see Bitcoin has some momentum on the dominance chart, right? So will be very fun to watch because this is the roadmap for altcoin season. If I don't know what altcoins you all hold out there, but if you're holding altcoins, I truly don't think we're there yet in terms of why are we not breaking all-time highs? Why is Cardano, for instance, not breaking all-time highs? I posted months ago, I think it was February, I don't even think Cardano was going to break $1 before Bitcoin halving because it just wouldn't make sense from a historical data perspective. And that's what I'm saying. I think the best is yet to come for altcoins. And this Bitcoin halving that has happened now, I think is a really nice indicator that we are entering that new season, and now we can start watching. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. I hope you have a good weekend. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.